Okay. No. Go ahead.
Hey, gang. Friday, and I am needing it. Matt's back, and I got to figure out which screen to actually share now because he is on something we've not really been using this week. So, kind of last time for that. Okay, no camera for me yet. Why is that? That explains it. And that's still nothing. Awesome. Hold on. What is my camera one? Properties. That one. All right, I don't have a camera today, but Matt does, so let's at least get him out here. Dude, what's happening?
It doesn't look like I'm on camera either.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, now why am
there's everything. Okay, cool. Looks like you could pop in there somehow.
Yeah, so the black space that you see there should be me, and it's not working for whatever reason. I got to figure out which one is actually carrying my face.
Which one is carrying your face? Wipe off this camera real quick. There you go. Just get to see my belly. All right. There you go.
So how was the trip? Where'd you go?
So we went to London, Lisbon, and Dublin.
Oh yeah, I think I saw something from probably Dublin.
Oh yeah, you probably saw my my pint of Guinness with my face printed in it.
Yeah, actually, that's it. Is that
I
AI, or can they actually do something like that?
Hey, what?
Was that AI, or can they actually do something like that?
No, they pour you a pint and then they put it on a little printer and they print it in the foam. And I don't know how they do it. I'm assuming it's just burning the sugars in the foam somehow with a laser, or it could be some kind of like um, edible inky stuff or food color. But I have no clue. Anyway, it was cool.
Right. Yeah, very cool. All right, so maybe if I did this, I'm trying to figure out, like, if I'm using a video or what the hell. This all week hasn't been like this. And
Yeah, you've been alone, and now that you have a friend over, your toys don't work.
Yeah, that sucks.
OBS is complicated. I never liked it.
You know, it's actually working really well, but I don't understand why.
Did you turn on your camera?
Yeah. And I know that's sometimes the issue being somewhere between the chair and the keyboard, but it's not letting me.
You will have that.
There's like no.
Why don't you turn off all that background stuff and then see if it works?
That's a totally separate, like, there. That's me. That's just the camera. And that's just all the stuff that you can add to one scene.
Is your camera lens on? Your cover?
No, I'm staring right at it.
All right.
That's OBS, but there's no camera feed in it, and I don't know why.
All right, I'm very sure that all the people that are watching are loving this conversation. Should we get into it and figure that out later?
Exactly. Let's do this then. Make you the star today. Hide camera.
All right, perfect.
So, first off, your boys are in my town.
That is
Coming
true.
into last night's game, they were 69-69, and the Rays were 70-69.
69 and 69.
Yeah. Well, this could be, I mean, two pretty much 500 teams. This could be actually a pretty good series. I think last night, I know the Rays won last night, making you 69-70,
Yep.
71-69. I think it was 4-2, something like that.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Uh,
Yes, it was.
Another one tonight, and then through the weekend, it's a 4 game.
Yep.
So, how many are they going to pull out?
I don't think it really matters at this point. Both of these teams are junk and rubbish and dog crap. Um, so
You ready for
it,
basketball?
say what?
Are you ready for basketball then?
No, I'm only a baseball guy. That's my only sport. I don't want to get myself bogged down on year-round teams and footballs and it's just too much of a distraction. There's no reason for and baseball's already 162 games plus pro season if you get there. But long story short is like we the Cleveland Guardians and even the Tampa Bay Rays, which is actually having a better season than one would expect because you guys don't have a proper stadium to play in. Um,
Yeah.
is so it's they are both like 3.5 and 2.5 games out, respectively, and of the wild card, and but they don't, but either team doesn't have the gumption, or I'm sorry, the teams to go anywhere past a wild card game anyway. And if they do, it's complete luck. And I've wrote them out. And if honestly, if a 500 team gets into the playoffs as a wild card, I'm actually more disappointed at the process because they're playing shit ball.
Right.
Um, so I'm kind of writing the season off, and every time they do make some wins and they get back, 3 games out of the wild card or whatever, and they just they do what they did yesterday. They got just destroyed by Tampa Bay over in a AAA ballpark, a spring training ballpark.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
That's why I wish I would have gone to a game this year because obviously the minor league ballparks are much more fan friendly than most of the major league ballparks. I mean, that's kind of changing with when Baltimore came in and they're getting rid of the big cookie cutters like Three River Stadium and Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia and the big cement monster things.
Hmm.
But yeah, Tampa is not really liked. The Rays owners are nothing like the Bolts owners or the Buccaneers owners, where they've both done things not just for Tampa, but for Tampa Bay.
Right.
And the Rays just kept wanting more and wanting more and wanting more, and don't really seem to be interested in putting too much into it. And that's why a lot of people are actually in favor of getting rid of the Rays altogether and maybe not even having a baseball team or giving it a while and find an actual space that they like. The problem with Tropicana Field is that it's actually in St. Pete, not in Tampa, which is on the peninsula and much more challenging to get to from the rest of the major population. In that they've either got to cross the bay, which is a narrow highway on the bridge, or go around it, which is a hike. And there's no public transportation back and forth. There's no train system. There's no regional train system. And getting people there is a pain in the ass. So, where the football stadium's at the top of the bay, so it's better access to both populations. And the arena is in downtown Tampa, so that's better access as well.
Yeah, a lot of these owners really just don't really care about the cities that they play in. It's a business to them, and
Yeah, but
yeah.
those same lines, I've always been of the opinion you've got to spend money to make money. This venture could be more profitable than what it is right now, but anything that I do goes right back into it, and that's exactly what I forget the name of the family, but whoever owns the Bolts, That's exactly what they've been doing, and it's paying off. They've got how many playoff appearances and how many Stanley Cups, so it's worked out.
Yeah, I don't know. I personally think that if you're, I really think that there should be higher standards for owners of teams. That this is that teams are not. I don't think they should be considered as just business assets. Honestly, I think they are should be more than that. I don't think they should be. I think they're more public services and as well.
Yeah,
And and I think that they should be held accountable. I don't think that anybody should be able to buy a team. I think that it should be a strict process between the cities and the MLB of how who can buy a team. They should have they should honestly submit a business plan or a plan of what they're going to do with the team in a contract form and be held to it, of how much money they're going to spend, what they're going to do to build the team, what they're going to do to support the city, because we're talking about billions of dollars, of not only revenue and infrastructure and in long-term contracts. That I don't think that it should be a business choice. I think it should be a public service choice, and this should be a public-private partnership, not just in stadium funding. It should be, hey, we are part of the team. You are using our name. The fans are depending on you for something, not just winning a stupid ball game, but it's like it really is part of a community. And so I think that most of these owners, Cleveland Guardians owners, maybe it sounds like the Rays and some of these other people, they should just honestly be not allowed to own a team because of the way they act, and the responsibility that they feel that the team that they should have for the cities and the teams.
yeah. Well, that might get us to kind of something that we're going to talk about in a little bit. Up next, RFK and his contentious conversations yesterday with the Senate. But then also the question that I have for you, actually for both of us, should a secretary nomination for a president's cabinet actually have some list of qualifications for that department?
Yeah, that's interesting. I thought about that this morning. Do you want to start with that?
Yeah, we can.
So,
And like for Pete Hegseth, for example, served in the military,
mhm.
but is that really what you need to be the Secretary of Defense or the Secretary of War if he gets his executive order that's coming out today or this weekend, for example?
Yeah, I don't really think so. I don't think they should. I mean, because there's two things. Number one is that's what the Senate confirmation process is for. Is to go through their criteria, and it doesn't matter if they have a degree in X, Y, or Z, but you're still going to go over there, and they're going to ask you about your degree, so or your qualifications, or what you think about your experience, or whatever. And I don't think that's going to break through partisan politics. So, and the anyway, so that's number one is we have already have that check. So what's the point? Um, Number two is I think that it's kind of discriminatory, saying that, hey, just because you have, and then what is the qualification? A degree in whatever makes you qualified now, or is it a working as makes you qualified with no degree? Or then it's just like, well, you might be missing out on really good people that are capable of doing a lot of good stuff because they didn't do the thing that this is for, right? For example, let's just say you are, I don't know, let's pick a department, transportation. But would I think that somebody like Department of Transportation, would I think Tim Cook would be good for it? He's never did transportation in his life, but he's a logistics guy. I mean, I would love to see Tim Cook do Department of Transportation. Or would we say like something like a CEO that really understands you know, public-private partnerships from like a not an NPO or NGO or something like that? Maybe that would be a really good person because of the tie-in between government and airlines and trains and the shared use of like rail and things like that. That could be really good. So what does that even mean, the qualifications, and how are you kind of like just saying like my job description is a businessman, or and that might not be what you need right now. So overall, I say no. Actually, no. I kind of like wholeheartedly say no. I think that the process that we have right now is what it is, and your cabinets and the secretaries is honestly the executive branch's choice. this is the conversation we had earlier with when Blake was on the show. It was like, hey, you hire an executive, and the executive has to build his team, and the team is his team, and this is why you're hiring this guy to do it. And so, yes, all of this matters at the same time, and so vote accordingly.
So couldn't disagree more. You say to leave it in the hands of the Senate for the confirmation. We've seen what a joke that has been. And while maybe historically, administration to administration prior to this, a president thought, hey, you know what? I should probably have somebody somewhat qualified to be the Secretary of Defense. We've never had a joker like Donald Trump before. I mean, all the jokes about Jimmy Carter, and I'll bet that most naysayers of Jimmy Carter would love to have him back right now over this guy. When you have somebody like a WWE wrestler running the Department of Education with the sole intent of literally destroying the Department of Education. And yet I've got neighbors who can't put together a sentence because of the Florida school system. There needs to be some level of qualification that is a minimum standard to get these people to be considered. I don't even remember the guy's name, but you mentioned Secretary of Transportation.
Buttigieg.
No, Trump's.
Oh, you're talking about the current one? I was actually referencing Buttigieg. Well, I think was also horrible at the job, by the way.
He got how much infrastructure put in place that wasn't there before?
That was an infrastructure bill that was passed to the states, and the states are building. He was horrible with the train dispute, and he was also horrible with the airlines.
I got to research that more before I fully disagree with it. But
then the Biden campaign caved on union organizing and forced the workers to go back to work on trains. So yeah, I disagree with all of that. Anyway, we're talking about qualifications. And again, it's arbitrary who picks it and what are the you need to have a degree in from where?
The guy that's got it now, the guy that has it now was a Fox News host. In fact, I just saw this yesterday. There are 30 former Fox News employees that are a part of this administration, to include 4 in major positions, being transportation, Hegseth, the U.S. Attorney of D.C., and a 4th one that I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, I think the argument is just more so
30 people that are part of this administration who came from a network that paid $787 million for lying.
I mean, at the same time, how many people who worked under the Biden or Obama administration that were from Wall Street and bankers? A shit ton. I mean, that was the deal that he made to be president. Look, at the end of the day, it's the president's job. And if you're asking for you're saying that we need more big government to come in and make these decisions instead of holding our Congress people accountable. This is our Senate that's making these choices. They're confirming this. So if you're saying that Senate can't do their job and the president is messed up, and you're saying we're going to add another rule, like that doesn't fix it. That it just adds another layer of bureaucracy that actually does not fix it. Because even if you had qualifications, it's still the people that the president picked to put in front of the Congress. It just doesn't do anything different. Now they have a degree.
Yeah, but I can
find plenty of people that would side with me on an issue if they have a degree. Like, okay, or they don't have a degree, or they worked in this. That doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I'm not saying
it's just Congress's job.
I'm not saying just a degree. I'm saying qualifications.
Sure. So 20 years in the field, I can still find the loyalists. Like, it doesn't matter. It's honestly just an extra layer of bureaucracy for the sake of thinking that we're doing something. This is what government does. It's like, oh, let's make a rule to think that we're doing something to make it because we have to save ourselves. Like, it's Senate's job. This already exists.
What happens when you get a bunch of sheep that
Yes,
are another effort.
then let's blame the source, the people of the United States of America. And if this is what the people are going to vote for, and this is what, and you disagree with their votes, then either A, we're not organized enough, B, we're not educated enough, or C, the United States is voting to shoot themselves in the foot. Like, but it's like, let's stop passing the buck of responsibility. Like, we're going to do it with some, well, we're going to just maybe hire an AI agent just to make the choices for us. No, these are elected officials that have this job, and hold them accountable.
That I'm not going to argue with.
This
All
is
right,
the
man.
system. I don't know. I just think like adding more rules does not make the thing go away. It doesn't make you don't have less mental health because you say we're going to or less homelessness because we're going to criminalize homelessness. That doesn't happen. You don't have
No,
less mental
agreed.
health issues because you can't be crazy on the street. That doesn't help. You're not going to have less jokers that are going to be hired by whatever by Congress or Senates because you make different. No, it's because the system is still set up in the way that the people are allowing this to happen, and then the responsibility falls on either the voter or the senators or whoever. But this isn't. It just doesn't do anything, and so it's just an arbitrary thing to have a discussion that doesn't mean anything, in my opinion.
Okay, good points. Well, speaking of not being qualified, RFK was in the Senate for the CDC debacle.
That was a good
And
transition, by the way.
yeah, well, it's actually part of the same talking point. They're really related, and when you got to saying about, uh, I guess this is the one pushback I would have on you. You want owners of Major League Baseball to have some sort of qualifications, but not members of the president's cabinet.
I did not say qualifications. I did not say qualifications. I said a contract between the city and the people, so that we have aligned interests.
Yeah, but
Because
before that, you had said about that. You at least alluded to it because you said that not just anybody can own a Major League Baseball team.
yes, what I implied is like, well, okay, so I can unpack that a little more. They asked for taxpayer money to build a stadium and subsidies and tax breaks, and then they run it as a business that doesn't use it for the people. Like we have blackouts over here all the time, so we can't watch our own games. They jack up the prices. We pay for parking. Then they decide that they're going to stiff arm the city council because they already made this investment, and so now the city councils can't lose their investment into this stadium or the tax revenues or whatever, and they're use that as a way to stiff arm the ball clubs to move to other places to get more from them. Then they don't provide a decent team because they're not going to pay the wages that they need to get a decent team. Meanwhile, the people are trying to be involved with the teams, and this is part of the identity of the city. There's more so than just saying, like, hey, I have the qualifications to own it. This is a public-private partnership that is using taxpayer money for this thing. So if you don't want to be here, or if you want to be here and you want to just not subsidize billionaires for these stadiums, which is not happening right now, then they should pay for it all themselves. And this is a business, but this is not what's happening. And so it's like more so it's like, how do you protect the bank role, the treasury of the cities, and the health of the city council and these treasuries, and the motivation of the citizenry with these ballparks that are now tied very closely to the populace. And that's not so. This is not happening right now. So there has to be a conversation between the city and these clubs, which is not happening.
Yeah, no, that I agree with. I just think that if you're going to have some sort of, and again, I still go with qualifications to own a Major League Baseball team, and I think that should be in every sport. There's plenty of football owners that don't know the first thing about football, hockey, basketball, you name it, and so many of them don't even know the first thing about business. That they run the team into the ground, and if they don't, where'd the whole series of the movie Major League come from? Or who's the guy that's the soccer coach in England that was hired to screw things up and didn't?
No clue.
I can't think of it. But
I only do baseball, sir.
yeah. Anyway, so RFK, rather combative day before the Senate. Where is I gotta? There's actually something I wanted to share from it. I didn't get a chance to bring up the video. Bernie.
Oh, Bernie Sanders questioning?
Yeah, he was. He's talking about. He was talking about how everybody was corrupt, but you. I don't know which one's the best one though. Let's see if this works.
She is a liar, correct? What she wrote in the Wall Street Journal.
If she wrote that I fired her because she refused to sign on in advance for the ASIP committee, no, that's not accurate.
All right, so you're calling her a liar, and I look forward to her coming before the Help Committee, maybe this committee as well. All right, Mr. Secretary, I've got a bunch of questions. Appreciate brevity in answering it. So-called beautiful bill threw 15 million Americans off of health care, substantially raised premiums, and is going to have a terrible impact on nursing homes, community health centers, rural hospitals all over America. Very briefly, is that really making America healthy again?
It's going to be the biggest infusion of federal dollars into rural health care in American history.
Yeah, you know why? Because you're cutting $150 billion for rural hospitals. You're putting $50 billion back. That's not an infusion. That's a loss of $100 billion. All right, next question. President Trump, who I don't usually agree with, called COVID vaccines, quote, one of the greatest miracles in the history of modern-day medicine that saved tens of millions of lives worldwide. Scientific community agrees with Trump. Lancet study found that it prevented almost 20 million deaths during their first year of use.
Yeah, this is something that I don't get about the whole MAGA movement. He was the one that got the vaccine in place. Vaccines that have upwards of 90% effectiveness. Flu shots have 70, 75% effectiveness, and that's considered good. Yet so many people on the right are so, including Florida, we'll talk about that later today too, are so anti-vax. Where's the connection? And again, what's the appeal?
Secretary Kennedy, are President Trump and the medical community right, or do you still believe that the COVID vaccine was, quote, the deadliest vaccine ever made?
No, first of all, I didn't say that. Oh, I said that in terms of affairs reports a while ago. I said today, I think that President Trump should get the Nobel Prize.
So who's right? Is Trump in the medical community right, or are you right?
President Trump did an extraordinary piece of leadership.
Is he right or wrong? Did COVID save millions of lives?
As I said, he got Americans back to work. At that time, that particular vaccine was perfectly matched to the virus that was circulating then. And I have no idea how many lives it saved, but it saved quite a few.
You know, what I find a little bit weird in this discussion, I'm hearing it over and over again this morning, Mr. Chairman, is we've got the entire medical community on one side. You got the AMA representing hundreds of thousands of doctors, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Public Health Association. All of these organizations are telling us that COVID vaccine and vaccines in general are safe and effective. You are casting doubt on that. Who are who are the organizations that are agreeing with you and casting aspersions on vaccines?
Here's the answer.
The primary advisors are Marty McCary, Jay Bhattacharya, Dr. Oz, Vinay Prasad.
So you got a few doctors who agree with you, and I'm giving you the
Not
name.
a few doctors. What you're talking about, there's a big difference, Senator, between established science and the scientific establishment. which has been co-opted by the pharmaceutical
hold on. So you're telling the American people that the American Medical Association, representing hundreds of thousands of people, have been co-opted and that they should not trust their doctors.
And I'm
the
telling
American
you,
Academy of Pediatrics, and by the way, just for the record, every single Republican, I don't mean to be political here, Mr. Chairman, has received PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. Are they all corrupt as well?
And I'm telling you, the American Heart Association has been co-opted by the food
Everybody but you, Senator. But you know what? When you ran for president, we have a corrupt campaign finance system. Maybe you will agree with me on that. Okay, you were already president, you got a billionaire behind it. You received $300,000 from people, not from the industry, people in it, as I did, from individuals. You corrupt. President Trump got $3 million. Every Republican got corporate PAC money for the pharmaceutical industry. Democrats as well. Everybody is corrupt, but you? Is that what we're looking at? I don't think so. And I think the issue now...
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, I think you do know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The issue is every time anyone...
I'm not here to watch TV.
Are you saying the pharmaceutical industry...
So look, this is complete Washington bullshit that annoys a lot of people because there's no one thing that they're even talking about or getting down to it. So I think that if we want to have a conversation on this, so it's not just owning the Republicans or owning the Democrats. There's three main things that he was talking about there. Number one, vaccines efficacy. Number two, personal choice. And number three, campaign finance. And we can take each of those, but other than that, that's just complete fucking Hollywood.
Well, but I think you're missing one of the points we talked about before.
What's that?
And that is that RFK has zero qualifications to be the Secretary of Health and Human Services.
That's not true. Actually, I don't really care, honestly, because he was nominated by the Senate and he was hired by the president. I don't care.
He was nominated by a corrupt Senate who did nothing but motherfuck Trump until they went down to Mar-a-Lago and had lunch with him and came out all of a sudden being their best buddy.
That has nothing to do with qualifications. That has something to do with our political system. Like, I don't get like the qualifications are not part of the issue. The issue is our Congress and campaign finance.
How do you have a director of the CDC who gets nominated and approved in late July and is fired in mid-August, and that's okay? Yeah,
it's fine. She has a boss, and that's who the boss was. That was hired by the people of the United States indirectly by our senators. That's how the system works.
So you're telling me that all of a sudden in 2 weeks, somebody that they should have vetted, any qualified secretary would have assisted in vetting, didn't find that she is pro-vaccine?
I mean, if that's the reason why she was fired, sure. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't care about her getting fired. Then
why was she appointed?
There's plenty of people who are hired and then fired in a couple of weeks because it doesn't work out and it's a bad fit. I mean, that's a non-issue.
No, not at that level.
I don't really care. That is first. It happens all the time. Look at the Yahoo CEO that was fired after a couple of weeks.
You're absolutely right.
Look at Liz Truss.
Liz Truss
was what?
There was a revolving door on the White House with Trump's first administration. There was a revolving door. Because so many
should have been a more revolving door in the Biden administration.
The best and the brightest. That's all he hires. That's all he brings in. Yet 2 weeks later, they're fired, and he's a moron. And
I don't really care.
He's stupid. Well, we gotta care. That's the point.
But I don't care about him hiring and firing people. I don't care. You know who should have fired more people is Biden. Biden, he just kept the same people around, which I think was actually this puppet government for the guy who didn't even know what the hell he was doing. Like, I don't care about the internal workings of them doing their... I don't care.
Whatever years old, but Trump is no better. And just because he keeps telling the media that he's better and that it's Biden, and Biden's been out for 8 months and everything is still Biden's fault.
Look, we have senators that we elect to do the job.
It's time to figure out what's wrong with this system.
The system, exactly what I'm saying. It's not because we
have a bunch of people
better resumes
that don't know what they're doing.
That's a congressional problem. That's not a resume problem.
It's a secretary problem also.
No, it's not.
Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, who should know that wearing a American flag pocket square is actually desecrating the flag. Don't you think
Wow,
he should know that?
that's honestly so. I mean, whatever, dude. I don't know. That has
No,
nothing
not
to do
whatever.
with that is whatever.
Those rules are in place for a reason.
I mean, this is just literally Twitter clickbait of enraged shit. That doesn't mean anything. I don't really care. This has nothing to do with anything.
It
If we
does
can't talk about
because
campaign
it's all
finance
these
and the system of our
little
elected
things.
officials, then I don't
We'll
care.
get to the finance too. But when it
That's
comes to the
important.
qualifications, and people that should
That's
be there
what
versus people
Congress
that
is
shouldn't be
for.
there. Look,
That's what
Blake,
Congress is
let me
for.
finish.
I heard you. It just doesn't make sense. You keep saying
When
the
it
same thing.
comes to the qualifications, these little things keep adding up. And now we're in the situation that we're in. We're not coming up on a civil war. We're in one. And I've been saying that. We're not coming up on an authoritarian government. We've got one. And I've been saying that. It's time for other people to realize the same thing. These people aren't secretaries. Secretaries are advisors to the president. And they're supposed to fight amongst each other. These people go in there and spend the first 20 minutes of the meeting kissing his ass. We haven't even heard from the Senate or the House. And now they're back. Now they're back in session. And the first thing Johnson tells the people is how much they've done for the people. They haven't done shit. It doesn't matter what party. They haven't done shit. And that's what needs to be said. All right, so campaign finance. Are these people bought and paid for?
Yes. Yes.
And how do we fix that? I mean, that's part of the problem too.
We do a complete purge.
Yeah, couldn't agree more there. And term limits and whole 9 yards.
I'm serious about that, but I can't.
I agree.
Here's the thing. And it's no offense to you, Jurgs. And
no, believe me.
But what
you won't.
You get a little butthurt sometimes, but we all know that. Anyway,
no, I get butthurt when I keep getting cut off and can't finish a point. That's what gets me butthurt. Blake. Good.
I'm sorry. I'm the one that has been interrupted for 15 minutes now. But anyway, can I go now? Can I go now?
Please.
Thank you. I forgot what I was going to even say. Whatever, dude. We could continue.
No, we're talking about campaign finance, and
yes. Okay. So that's my biggest thing with. It's not that we're distracted. It says we are 100% to be led to focus on the wrong things when it comes to what fixes government, and when it comes to I live in Ohio, and I don't think that one person I know here knows one Mexican. Even though there's Mexicans around, but like in day-to-day life, there's no brown people that everybody who's upset about like immigration actually interacts with. Nobody here has got their jobs taken. Yet immigration is the number one thing that everybody's mad about. Everybody's like, people will always say like, oh, New York and Los Angeles and Chicago and these big blue Democrat cities are falling apart and they're full of crime, and I wouldn't even want to go there because they're so bad. And they haven't even been there, Like me and my stepdad went to Wrigley Field in Chicago, and he was commenting how clean it was, how nice it was in Chicago downtown, and whatever. Chicago has its own issues in other areas, but the downtown was amazing. New York is a awesome, vibrant place with a lot of issues too. But I guess it's like we get distracted on these different tangents of things that are important, right? The crime rate in Chicago is absolutely crazy, honestly, in certain areas. And New York infrastructure and their subways are decaying and they're horrible. But New York is still the world finance center and the most vibrant city on earth. It's amazing, right? But we get distracted on these things. That's the thing. But one thing that we should be really focused on is the systemic changes of these different things. And that is one, campaign finance. That's two term limits. That's three, the people who are supposed to be representing us doing their jobs. And if those change, then that changes the whole thing. But we're talking about these individual things that won't change the game. And that's what frustrates me about these conversations. It's like we see that this is the building block, the foundation. If we were having a Maslow's pyramid and the building block was anything, it would be campaign finance, term limits, and
Oh,
Congress not doing the job. It's not immigrants. It's not qualifications and resumes. It's not Pete Hegseth and his pocket square. I don't care about that. It's what did Congress do and how did we get these people in there in the first place? That's my thing.
yeah, I see that, but there's got to be something where, still no camera. There's got to be something where the president's feet is being held to the fire, and feet being one thing is, they've got to be held to the fire, and when he's not doing his part of the job, or when he's not living up to what he said he would do, or the people that he said he would put in, or the people that we expect him to put in, the Senate's got, whether they're the same party or not, the Senate's got to be able to step up and say, what the hell are you doing? And they're afraid to do that. It's not that just they're not doing it because they're lazy. They are afraid to do that. And that's got to end.
Agreed.
If
I
it wouldn't
agree.
have ended, if it, I never thought I would say that I would rather have Kevin McCarthy back as speaker, but at least he went down swinging. People like Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney, Mitt Romney, whether he saw the writing on the wall or really wanted to get it up for somebody younger, somebody that's willing to speak up, because we don't have that now. And we're going to be losing more than just an effective Congress if somebody doesn't. Speaking of which, here are.
Hey, have you heard? Wait, really quick, two different tangents. I have a prediction, and I have a prediction, and then I have have you followed this guy Soy Sauce Sports on Instagram? The guy who
No,
talks about the smashing.
that's smashing. No,
I'm
smashing
gonna
as in like sex.
yeah. So it's I look. I know it's sexist. I know that it's misogynistic. But
Okay.
it is funny. And what he does is he just, and honestly, here's the thing: is if a girl like him didn't do this from a female's perspective, they have already missed out on millions of dollars because this guy is killing it. Um, and honestly, if like some girl didn't do it already, then they're just absolutely missing out. It's the stupidest thing that they didn't do it. So he's hilarious. Second is here's my prediction. You want my prediction?
Go ahead.
My prediction is we just had the unemployment rate. It went up. It's 4.3%. It's I've been saying on at least my show, Daily Crypto News, for a couple months that my prediction is that the economy, and everybody's not paying attention to the economy right now, and we're in real deep shit. And it's almost going to be irreversible here in a little bit. And the news isn't going to pay attention to it until Christmas time, because they're going to see that the consumer spending is going to be down around 10 to 20%, which is going to be huge, by the way. Then they're going to start panicking, and by then it's already going to be too late. And so I predict, and here's my prediction: between 12 months after Christmas to 18 months, we're going to have a 2008 or bigger style recession.
Oh yeah, I felt the same way.
because nothing makes sense.
I'm getting stupid texts from Cat.
Nothing makes sense.
When people were in denial that we had the best economy in the world during the Biden administration, towards the end of it, whether it was because of him or his people, maybe the fact that they were qualified might have helped something. Shot across the bow there. And the fact that that economy was ignored, I think, is part of what is sending this into the spiral, in addition to ridiculous tariffs that nobody understands, especially the president himself.
Can I disagree with you?
And what?
It wasn't the best economy.
It was literally the best economy in the world. And maybe it was not our best economy.
It was the best economy in the world, but remember, it was fueled by debt printing. That was $9 trillion of bills that was printed and works its way through the economy. So it didn't the job creation and the growth, as you see, like your roads getting fixed, was all because of public spending that was debt related, debt backed. So it's not a good economy. None of that was good economy. This is all smoke and mirrors. Now, I think that the Trump administration, if they want to do another $10 million or $10 trillion print, can fuel this economy from fucking up, but it's going to be done on the back of debt.
That is already how much?
We're almost at 40 trillion, and 9 was Biden, and 9 before that was Trump, and then we had the bailout from Obama. This is we have a debt fueled economy from everything from 2008, and that's why we went up only.
I don't think 9 trillion was from Biden.
Oh yes, it was.
Everybody races to their keyboards.
Sure. Added to economy by presidents. No. Let's see here.
Biden lowered it.
Biden did not lower it. Biden did not lower that, dude.
According to Reuters. Now I got to figure out how to share the screen. Here's 2010. $2020.
8.5 trillion. Donald Trump added 7.8 trillion during his four-year term. Barack Obama added 7.7 trillion, and Bush added 4 trillion. I'll send that to you, dude. Like, this is honestly, I think this is common knowledge, and like, so this is all debt fueled. This is debt fueled growth.
Yeah, I'm not saying that we're not kicking the can down the road. We absolutely are.
And Biden was just as big as of a adder than anybody else. It was a 24% increase. And so remember, when you have the infrastructure bill passed, the Build Back Better bill passed, that's just debt added to spend. And then they passed it to the states to fuel workers and economies and unemployment to get that down. And so we had record unemployment based off of debt spending. This is
working.
Yes, and we can still do that if you want to add more debt. This will break though, and we can do this forever until it breaks. But we can't say that any of this is good economy. Biden did not have a good economy. Biden had people working because
I didn't say that he
money.
had a good economy. I said that
you said he had the best in the world.
Yeah.
Yes, it was debt fueled though.
Stop.
When you have the most, it's kind of like saying who had the best lifestyle during the last 4 years, and the poor person that makes $25,000 a year couldn't put stuff on their credit cards because they didn't have it, and they're like, oh well, their life sucked because but they're debt free. Then a person that made $500,000 a year had credit cards with $100,000 limits and still went out to the fancy meals and drove the best cars and went on family vacations, but put $100,000 on their credit card. And you say, well, that one with the $100,000 on the credit card had the best life of everybody. Sure, they did, yeah, but at what cost?
Did you send the? At least we'll
Yeah,
put that in the show notes if we don't get to see it.
to Messenger.
Okay, where's Facebook? Sharing that. Copy and bring it down here.
So I just think that the ways
Eagles
that we're
versus
looking at.
Cowboys?
Excuse me.
Is this the Eagles versus Cowboys?
The Eagles versus Cowboys. What the hell are you talking about?
You said you sent it to me in. This is what I got from you in.
I see that you're looking at it in the in Messenger. I see that you're already loaded
The
it.
Instagram thing?
No, the picture, the screenshot.
Oh, I thought this was one thing. Okay, hold
No.
on.
The Instagram thing was the soy sauce guy I was telling you about. The smash.
Yeah, and I'm seeing Jeffrey Lurie with some Asian chick.
That's his wife.
That's okay. Copy. Bring it down to this one. How's that for sexist? Some Asian chick.
Yeah.
All right. There we go.
I would say that's more racist, dude.
Well, chick. Dismiss that. All right. So as of May, Joe Biden added the most to the national debt in dollar terms at $8.5 trillion, followed by Donald Trump, who added 7.8 in his 4-year term. However, the amount of debt added under any president is influenced by many factors, including the economy, actions taken by Congress, making direct comparisons complex. Debt added during recent presidencies, Joe Biden from 2021 to present, debt has increased by $7 trillion, a 24.75 increase as of September 2024, for his full term ending January 2025. President Biden approved $4.7 trillion in new 10-year debt through legislative and executive actions. Donald Trump, from 2017 to 2021, the national debt increased by $8.18 trillion, a 40.43% increase during his 4-year term. Barack Obama, 7.7 over 2 terms, so cut that in half. And national debt was $4 trillion over 2 terms of George Bush. And here's another thing I can see right off the bat. George Bush adding 4 trillion back in 25 years ago.
Right. It's different. It's more like 10 trillion now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's all relative. Yeah, I agree. All I'm trying to say is ever since the financial crisis, the debt printing has been very much fueling a lot of our economy, a lot of our stock market, a lot of our jobs. The public sector of jobs is accounting for a huge portion of employment, and this employment isn't fueled by tax revenue or good economy in overseas trades. Not totally. It's fueled by debt, taxes, and these things are literally made, and these bills are made so we can put the infrastructure bill into law and pass $1 trillion to the state of Ohio, or 600 billion to the state of Ohio, so they can build roads and employ people so our shit doesn't go tits up. We can't, even though we're the best in the world, like I said, this is really a snowball effect of literally smoke and mirrors economy.
Yeah, and so is tracking what each president has done to the debt as far as keeping track of just simple dollars. Is that really a worthy statistic? Because, I mean, after all, 100% of all murderers once drank milk. That doesn't bode well for the dairy industry. But really, who gives a shit?
I think it just I don't know if actually you're right, but I think that it's like, let's destroy the narrative like who had the best economies, because ever since Obama and the financial crisis, nobody's had the best economies. Yes, we've had wins here and there, and yes, the tech bubbles, and yes, we've had AI now, and yes, we've had built some cars and sold some cars. But like this is the growth that we're seeing, the jobs that we are seeing, and this is a lot what's happening with a lot of the strikes, or a lot of the protests that are happening right now. It's the union workers that are, from the federal union workers or whatever, saying that we're not going to get our contracts anymore, or these contracts are ending, or these jobs are being eliminated. These are literally what's propping up the economy right now. It's not the mom and pop shops, or the overseas trade, or the free market. And I think that people really have to understand, like, we are literally living with a paper tiger economy that is fueled by the size of our economy. We have so much money, and we have been so blessed and rich that we can take on so much debt to make us look like we're just killing it, but we're not. That's the issue.
Yeah. What do we do to fix that then? What
here's my
do we do
conspiracy.
to kill it?
So here's my conspiracy theory first. Here's my conspiracy theory. There's two
All right.
things that I was thinking about, because I was thinking about how everybody says, "Oh, Trump's going to go for a third term," and blah 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 blah. I won't believe it until I see it. But what I will say is that we do see points in history where economies and unemployment and weakened economics globally do force the people to turn to strongmen. And if we do have a weakened economy with unemployment, and we do hit that, what I predict, a 12 months window after Christmas, major recession, they might be turning to the strong man for another term.
You don't think he's the cause of it?
That's actually what I'm implying, is that this could be the cause of it. Yes.
So he's lighting.
Yes, that this is the plan.
He's lighting the fire.
I've always thought the plan
He's
was
lighting the fire. He's going to come and put it out, and then expect the pat on the back for putting out the fire. And everybody's.
I don't think he'll be able to pull it out, but I don't think that he's going to be able to put it out. I think that he's lighting the fire so he can be called in to put out the fire. But he's going to but the fire is too big to put out, in my opinion. I think it's just I think it's kind of like having the dry wood in California, and then smoking a cigarette and having a forest fire. Like it was bound to happen because there's so much dry grass and wood in California. And I think that's the United States economy. It's just going to take a little bit of push. It doesn't even take that much.
Yeah, I'm looking at homeowners insurance that's gone up significantly for the 4 years that I've been here. I went from a $2,900 mortgage payment to $3,100 and change in less than a year. I've had it. Most of that's because of an increase in homeowners insurance that didn't cover anything. I've got $80,000 sitting in the bank waiting to rebuild my house because the government's supposedly helping me with it to build it up. 1 minute I'm in their program. The next minute I'm on a back burner because they've got too many. The next minute I'm back in the program and nobody knows what's really happening. And then there's groceries. We're still paying $3 a gallon or more for gas, $5 a dozen for eggs. Beef is hamburger is like I'm buying a steak, a good steak.
Yep. Yeah.
And
yeah, beef has went up 15% this year.
Yeah, just this year.
Yeah, just this year.
And so, with the exception of the very end, and maybe that was the cause of the very end, we didn't have this under Biden. And so it might not have been the best economy, but it was better than this.
Well, all I can say is have Trump pass some major infrastructure bills, and we'll get out of it. Add another $7 trillion, we'll be fine for another 4 years. But that's just the truth of the matter.
It's also
I think that
still kicking the can down the road.
All of it's kicking the can out of the road. Here, my personal opinion is that I keep sending and telling everybody about the same quote. during COVID, the Australian CEO says we need the workers to hurt so we can get them to do what the fuck we want. I think that they want shit to be expensive. I think that they want people to be to not have jobs. I think that they want people to need to rely on employers so they can have these low wage little slaves so they can build whatever they need to build, and manual labor, and then offshore anything else to AI. And I think that they want to have her in the economy, so it's possible that there could be a authoritarian takeover. I think that that could be a game plan. But long story short is I do know that there is a major recession coming because nothing fucking makes sense.
Yeah.
Nothing makes sense. And to say that Biden had a better economy, it does that's just saying it might have been better under Biden, but doesn't mean we have a good economy. My life might have been easier pre-COVID, or I'm sorry, or during Biden, but let's just not say that the economy was good because it was all manufactured.
But what do voters look at? Do they listen to Daily Crypto News or to Shady News Radio, or do they just look at the grocery bill at the end of each trip?
Oh, exactly. The grocery bill, man. This is gonna break. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna break. It has to break. If it doesn't break, then nothing's real. Nothing's real. My dad. Here, let me just tell you something real quick. We have a house. I was flabbergasted by this. I'm still flabbergasted because this is not even a real number. We live in like a middle class house. Probably at the time it was considered, we moved in the 90s, it was upper middle class maybe. But right now it's a middle class house, about $450,000. It has 24 windows. So my dad wants to replace windows and doors, right? Guess how much to replace windows and doors in our 50-year-old houses?
24 of them?
24 of them.
Probably about 70 grand.
Okay. That's not a bad guess. Try again.
85?
Are you there? Oh. No, let me press that they're Anderson windows. Anderson windows. Try again.
Anderson windows aren't bad windows.
They're good windows, yeah. I mean, they're quality windows. Absolutely. You're going to buy quality for your house, right?
All right.
You're not going to get enough off of Amazon.
I know. My guess. Yeah, I'm still going in the 70s. I'm saying about
219,000. Sir.
That's crazy because they're about $3,000 a window. I know my dad's a contractor.
219.
That is goddamn ridiculous.
They had the balls to say that quote, dude. My sister was just talking about her friend just built a house, and his was 90 on a brand new build.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's not even taking it out and reframing them and blah blah blah, and having to refit or having custom sizes because they're old sizes. This is just a brand new build where they're saying, "Hey, we're gonna put these windows in there, and build the frame, and pop them in there." 90 grand for windows. All I'm trying to say is numbers don't make sense right now, dude. Nothing makes sense.
Yeah, because I know my dad's a contractor, and I know that it's probably about $3 grand per window installed. So that's labor, that's testing, the time it takes to put a hose up against the thing and make sure it doesn't leak. That's everything.
And that's still crazy money. $3 grand a window is crazy money.
That is half of my month's take home. A little over. So at that rate, I could take 2 years to redo your house if it was mine. And that's if during the course of those 2 years the price doesn't jump like everything's been doing. Can I win this Powerball? Are you playing, by the way?
I played last time or Wednesday. I'll play again. Absolutely. Who wouldn't mind 1.4?
It's 1.7.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't mind $1.7 billion? What would you do? Would you take the payments or would you take cash?
No, I figured it out before. You get at somebody our age, and I think he even did it if I passed it off to my son and said that he won it, who's obviously a third of my age. Not quite, but less than half my age. And therefore, the annuity would be for a longer period of time. In the end, you would get just as much as what you would get if you took the cash value. And as such, why not get it all right away? Why let them keep it when it can earn you interest?
Yeah, no, I'd get it right away. I mean, I think it's just silly. Anybody says, "Oh, well, I can get more," when we're talking about $1.7 billion, dude. What the hell are you gonna do? Even if you have tax to the gills and they take 70% of it, you're gonna walk away with $500 million. What the fuck are you gonna do with $500 million?
Yeah, exactly.
That's enough fucking money.
Yeah, exactly. Buy my neighborhood and tell the county to go fuck themselves.
Like seriously, that's just stupid money at that point. Like everybody like, oh, I can get more if I can shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it's like the third or fourth highest Powerball. As of Saturday's 1.7.
Well, I hope you get it so you can build out a proper studio.
Yeah, get out of this construction site.
Yeah. I'll start charging for my guest list now.
Yeah,
it'll be a million an hour though.
I'm excited to eventually profit share. All right, let's. You got me all curious about this now.
What?
Let's see here.
You're talking about the Powerball? Or are you still back on the deck?
I'm going to your Instagram post.
Oh.
Jerry Jones' wife. That's not the question. Tonight's question is Jerry Jones' wife or the owner of the Philadelphia Eagles, Jeff Lurie's wife, who I'm not saying she's a mail order bride, but you all thought it. Give me the Eagles starting out strong, 7-0 in the first quarter. Now let's shift our focus to the head coach's wife. And the Cowboys, well, there's been better. We all know Nick Sirianni got one of them ones. Look, the Eagles are going to score here, and we're running the tush push for 2. But it's about the players on the field, right? And I think Jalen Hurts' wife is certainly elite, and it's going to get him some points, but I fully believe Dak Prescott earned his contract now. Respectfully, it's a Gronk spike through the mattress, leading the comeback late for the Cowboys. You gotta look at the playmakers, and while CD might not have a wife, we can always pull from the mom crowd. We're gonna look at CD Lamb's mom and Cooper DeJean's mom. And I think, respectfully, CD Lamb's mom just tied the ball game, which means it's coming down to special teams. Starting with Brandon Aubrey, and his range might be 65 plus, but I think he pulled this one from inside the 20. It looks like Super Bowl champion Jake Elliott just sealed the game because, respectfully, I'm putting her through the uprights. Final score, Philly 27, Dallas 20. Would I smash Jerry Jones' wife? That's
Dude, it's just it's 100% triggering for some, but it's good content. It's creative. It's hilarious. And I really wish a female would go ahead and do the same thing. Just exact same, but for the dudes, just exact same, and they would absolutely kill it. I can't believe nobody has done that yet.
WNBA is filled with lesbians, so that ain't going to work out all right.
Oh, he's already done the whole WNBA. They did the coaches. He did all the players. He did all that. This guy's on it, dude.
How do you see women doing one for? I don't get it. Doing one for men.
Just that have a girl say which one smash or pass or smash, and then go do like the Dallas Cowboys, the star quarterback, the running back.
Not anybody's spouses or anything like that. Just have a girl commentator.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, just just say I'm gonna smash or whatever, or pick anything, or do UFC, or you'd have to watch his channel to understand what I'm talking about. But
he did the same thing. My pet peeve with all these content creators, they use these wireless mics that are clip-on mics, and they got to hold it.
As regular mics?
And they hold it to their face. Just fucking clip it onto your shirt and do your job.
Yeah, I don't understand that either, but whatever. It's a thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's a thing. I got to hold this. So
It's
it looks like
it,
I'm important.
I
Microphone.
wonder I wonder if they found that holding something in your hand like that actually helps the TikTok or Reels algorithm in some way.
Like you think somebody sees that?
Like having a hand, like having it. No, I mean it's all
Yeah.
algorithms, so they know what the picture is doing, and I'm wondering if having a hand there actually makes it react in a different way.
I'm gonna wear a baseball cap like you are. And I'm gonna clip it to the brim of the cap.
Yeah, I've done the brim.
Have you really? You put it on your brim?
Oh yeah, on this show a couple times.
On here?
Yeah,
I never even saw you use a
multiple
cordless.
times. Oh yeah, I used to until these things are actually better than my wireless. To be honest with
You actually sound good. And I've like all the online coaches say not to use wireless while live or recording.
Yeah, they don't. They're just not. They're not good.
Like, are you not hearing me clearly as you could be? Or?
No, we hear you fine because you have a proper
Right.
mic.
But I mean, why are wireless mics and why are they not good?
They're fine. It's just when they pick up everything and the echo and things like that. And if you're doing live processing, the processing's toned down because you need to have a low latency because of the live recording and the live conversation. And so there's no processing. Now, if you use the wireless mic and you actually uploaded it or used it for processing, it's absolutely fine because then you could reduce the noise in the background. But you really want something right in your face if you're doing live recording with no latency because there's no processing. These do processing, in like what we call it. So, and it's right there. My mic's right there. So it's a little different. Any other news things that we have to talk about?
Epstein victims.
Oh yeah.
Spoke out to Congress. Was it? But I think the biggest thing was, here's, I'm like, yeah. I think the biggest thing was a flyover while they were outside at a press conference that was orchestrated by the White House. Was that orchestrated for when they were speaking, or was that dumb luck?
What are you talking about? What was dumb luck? Huh?
Abuse, and members of Congress spoke out. And now it is News reporter Sophie Flay is here now with emotional messages and what President Trump is now saying about this case. Sophie.
Yeah, David, Giovanna, that's right. It was a real display of unity in Washington, D.C. today. Victims standing side by side with members of Congress, all with the same message: release the Epstein files in full.
I was only 14 years old when I was introduced to Jeffrey Epstein by a 13-year-old friend of mine.
I was only 14 years old when my friend brought me over to Jeffrey Epstein's house in Palm Beach.
I was 16 years old when I was flown to New Mexico to spend a weekend with Epstein and Maxwell.
Women who say they faced years of abuse by Jeffrey Epstein coming together in Washington, D.C. today. They're calling on lawmakers to support a discharge petition that would lead to a bill and, if passed, would require the Department of Justice to release Epstein records. Politicians on both sides of the aisle speaking out.
We are coming forward and we are going to fight like hell for these women, because we have to fight like hell for those that are enduring sexual abuse.
A nation that allows rich and powerful men to traffic and abuse young girls without consequence is a nation that has lost its moral and spiritual core.
With enough support, it would require the DOJ to release all unclassified materials, including names of co-conspirators, flight logs, details on immunity deals and cover-ups, internal DOJ communications, and records surrounding Epstein's death. President Trump asked by members of the press if the withholding of documents is to protect friends or donors. Trump responding.
It's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant.
On Tuesday, the House Oversight Committee publicly released more than 33,000 pages of documents related to the disgraced financier, much of which was already public.
Whether you're a Republican or you're a Democrat, this one is an easy call.
According to California Congressman Brad Sherman, if a majority of members of the House of Representatives sign this petition, the House must begin debating this bill within several days.
All right. So
were you commenting on the cheering when she said she was 14 years old?
No, there was a flyover.
You didn't notice that? Like she was like, and I was only 14 years old, and somebody was like, "What?"
Yeah,
what was
a lot of
was
that. Was, I know that they're doing the cheering for them and having the strength to speak out.
Oh, okay. I was like, that was misplaced and
being victimized.
Not the best
yeah,
timing,
but I know that looked stupid. But what looked worse, and that they edited it out, and I'm glad that they didn't make it the news item that I'm making it. There was a flyover of fighter jets that was in honor of some visiting foreign dignitary who was outside the White House at the time of the flyover, which was at the time of the press conference. So if you know anything about the layout of Washington, D.C., as you see it from the ground, there's this big cross. And at the left hand, as you're looking at it, is the White House. And at the feet is Congress, is the Capitol. And so as they're connecting the dots, they fly right over the Capitol as they come out of Andrews Air Force Base, or Joint Base Andrews. And, like I said, connect the dots and do the flyover. And it happened to be right at the time of this press conference. So was that an intentional thing by the White House, who doesn't usually do a flyover for just any old foreign dignitary? Or was it stupid luck and just another day on the Hill?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just stupid luck, honestly.
I don't think Trump is that coordinated. He's that sinister, but he's not that skilled.
No, it's stupid luck. Just like the cheering.
Yeah, that
just like the cheering. But
that looks stupid.
But the I don't know. This whole Epstein thing is just absolutely crazy. It's good. It's interesting to see Tom Massey, and I'm almost like Tom Massey for president. Ro Khanna, he's a fraud. I think Ro's on the right side of issues, but I mean, until he stops his stock trading and stops telling me it's his wife's stock trading, he can go fuck himself.
Yeah. And that's both sides.
That's
Nancy and Paul Pelosi. That's everybody.
That's it. But Ro Khanna, I don't know how Ro Khanna has pulled like the wool over everybody's eyes to say, oh well, he's the good senator and he's so on the right side of stuff when he's making millions off of trading, and he just says, "Oh, it's my wife's portfolio." It's like it's obviously. I just don't get how people like that guy with that complete bullshit.
Well,
anyway,
but that's the thing.
His policies
Trump
are good.
does the same thing. Biden's done some of them, but it's my wife's portfolio. Okay, so
Trump doesn't do it. Trump doesn't do the same thing. It's his portfolio.
No, but he does this thing where he pushes it off on somebody else.
It's his family. His
we're
sons
supposed to believe that he's got nothing to do with it. How many times has he been asked in these Oval Office press avails about any issue? I don't know anything about that. Dude, you're the fucking president. How do you not know about what's going on in Ukraine, or where, or your Secretary of Defense leaking shit to the media on a application that's not authorized for classified information? How do you not know about that?
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. They're all complete.
You're
assholes.
Telling me, or he's telling us, that he's not having a conversation with his wife about her stock trading, and you're a senator? What kind of power do you got, dude?
What are you talking about, Ro Khanna? He's a congressman, by the way.
Congressman.
A representative. Yeah.
But
But yeah, no,
people
I
believe
agree.
this shit.
But look, they're out there for the right reason, is to get the Epstein files. I don't know what they're. See, here's the thing: is this is all political theater, in my opinion. I don't think that either Democrats or Republicans actually give a shit. I think that if the Epstein files were to come out and it did have a bunch of Democrats on there, that the Democrats would probably hold it too. I just think they don't know
Well,
what
I
the
mean,
fuck's on there
and
because they're not in
that's a
power
good
right now.
point. Why did Biden not release these?
I saw if they saw like a Clinton or whoever that is rumored
Yeah.
on there, or one of their donors. It would be the same thing. It's complete fucking bullshit. I don't think they care. And I think that it might be, I don't know. There's all kinds of different theories. That theories is like a good sci-fi novel, man. You can write a million of them. But I don't think they care. But it should be released.
Yeah, and I agree with that. But my question about
my question is,
good.
My question is to you then. My question is to you: if the Epstein files, and by releasing them and getting justice for these women and showing that there was, trafficking and pedophilia and child rape and things like that on there, but to get the justice for all those people, you had to expose in the field assets from different departments that are undercover, or some kind of like officers in the CIA or whatever, and those had to get exposed, and you would blow those assets. Would you do it?
Blowing assets in the field? No. I mean, we
then,
already know that Epstein's one of them. So those people that are tied to him are already in danger, not because of whatever public information exists, but because in the community, you kind of know who the other players are. And when you get something like this, it either confirms or disproves any associations that you think exist.
Well, thinking and knowing are two different things. So,
but that's a life in the
assets?
Life in the intelligence community. When you put together, when you put together intelligence, you don't know. They're saying is you don't know what you don't know. So when you put together intelligence, I don't just take a statement from my guy in the field, Matt Deemer, and make it the gospel. Your information is tested against the information from other sources. That sources could be documents, it could be known information, it could be whatever. But it's tested, sure. and a probability or percentage of its accuracy is then assessed.
So you would not dox people, or you would?
What?
If there were CIA agents that were visiting Epstein's island that were undercover or whatever, or Mossad or MI6, and they're out there right now doing some work, but they were involved, would you dox them?
Would I say that they were on the list? No. But if there's other people that they're associated with, like Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Prince Andrew, then we have to say, what's the connection? And that's why things are labeled as classified in different degrees. Confidential.
But that's the point. So how much classification? So again, that's part of the conversation. Is like, what if this is all, might not even be the people, but the connections expose top secret things.
This goes back to what I said about players in the game kind of sort of know already. Look at Epstein Island. No,
but that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking about releasing it for the people to know, so we can have justice.
Well, I want them to know as much as possible, but this is why we have classified information, because they can't handle knowing certain things. Yes. And I know that. I've lived that. But just look at Epstein Island. It's in a perfect location to be a safe house. The fact is, it doesn't have a runway where private jets are going to go in and out. So it's got a certain level of cover. Clinton's jet couldn't land here. There's no place to land a jet. But there is in St. Thomas, and there is in the British Virgin Islands, also close by, and the Dutch Virgin Islands, also close by. And it's a short boat ride to that location. I know, I've been on one. And so the fact that it's a private island and you leave any of those international locations and go wherever you want on a boat, nobody's checking your passport when you get there. So Donald Trump or Bill Clinton were on a flight log. So what? There's no place for that flight to land on Epstein Island.
Mm-hmm.
There's not, just because they're on a flight log, that does not mean shit. Were they on the boat that went there? And that's something that's not going to prove until you release these files.
See, my fear here is that you'll never get the truth of what's happening here, even if both sides agreed on it, which I don't think they would, because of the national security issues in here, and therefore it wouldn't lead to anything.
So I think ultimately that cover's already blown, which is why I think it's okay to. I would suspect, and obviously I don't know for sure, but for as far as human intelligence, I think any other assets, and I mean other people like Jeffrey Epstein, who may not be villains, who may not be evil traffickers, but maybe actual intelligence officers in place, they've been evacuated long ago. Even if that evacuation means they're no longer undercover, they're working back at Scotland Yard or back in Jerusalem or Langley. They're not in the field anymore, and they won't be because of the risk. But when
I gotta use the bathroom. Want to take a quick break?
We can do that,
and we can come wrap it up.
Right, we'll talk about Ohio elections. All right. I got to take a break. There's no camera today. I don't know why, but everything's set up. It was fine last night. When we come back, Ohio and Florida elections for Senate and governor, as well as the Florida vaccine mandate. And what about abortion? Because they almost said it. Our body, our choice when it comes to vaccines, but not so much with everything else. All right, this is Up the Middle on the Mastiff Media Network. We'll be back right after this, I think. I'm not used to playing these on this one anymore. Actually, that wasn't it. What are you doing later? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to the gym, but not just any gym. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Walk right up to the door. There's a QR code on the door. You can sign up right there. You've got no excuse. But not only that, their equipment is amazing. It's kept up well. It's expanded. There's stretching area. There's CrossFit. There's hardcore training. A dedicated area for stretching, dunk tanks, sauna, everything you need to get that Hernando beach body or keep your Clearwater beach body. You can train with your shirt off, you can scream, you can yell, and you won't be intimidated either. Go to Momentum Fitness and Wellness on US 19 in Bayonet Point, Jasmine Estates. Build the momentum at Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Okay, maybe not. Hey gang, it's Yergs, host of Up the Middle. With my university degrees in history and political science, and 21 years as a special agent in U.S. Secret Service, I've lived what others can only talk about. Join me, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific, Monday through Friday, on Yergs Radio, Rainbow Radio, and Right Talk Radio. Up the Middle. Politics for the rest of us. All right, so till Matt gets back. Oh, there we go. Up next, I mean, anything else for anything? You get anything else for
Epstein?
Epstein Island, the victims, etc.
The last thing I say, and this is going to be a very unpopular opinion, it might actually be offensive. But one thing that the women did say when they're out on the steps of the Capitol or whatever it was yesterday with Ro Khanna and Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene and all that stuff, is that if you don't do it and release the Epstein list, we will start naming names. And that feels like such a dog and pony trick show to me, that I'm not going to victim blame or whatever, but I don't understand why you wouldn't say it if you're a victim and you want justice. When you see the finagling that's happening, when you saw already Epstein go to prison and kill himself, in air quotes, when you already saw Ghislaine Maxwell go to prison and not say anything, when you already seen that this is getting buried, and now you're going to come out there and just kind of like tease like, oh, we're going to go and release them ourselves. It's like, are you in on it? Is this all a game or something? Because I can't imagine if all of this is coming out and you have people advocating for you, that you wouldn't say, hey, yeah, pick your news agency, pick your primetime show. I was trafficked and I saw Prince Andrew and I was, raped by this person or that person. Why wouldn't you do that? That makes no sense to me. So to be honest with you, when I saw that, I was like a little red flag myself, like, wait, why are you dangling that carrot in front of us? That seems weird.
I agree. Yeah. So, and I've always said that, not only about this, but about any situation like that. You screw me over, I'm going to screw you over. The end. And Trump says that. Trump says he loves getting revenge. So why are they just saying, screw Congress? We've waited long enough.
Exactly. And this is like, there's already somebody who came out against Prince Andrew. And it's like, all these women didn't join her, and like, yeah, I was actually there with her. Like, I saw him too. Like, it's like, what? And this isn't about revenge. This is so-called justice of a huge, horrible thing that nobody can tolerate. But apparently, the victims still now can tolerate and just say, "Oh, we're going to dangle this carrot for the American people's head." Like, what's the game that's being played?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, and again, I'm sorry that might sound rude or offensive, and like I don't want to. And people are like, you don't know what it's like to be a victim, and it's hard to come out and say this, but like this is already out though. This is not like they're standing up there saying like this happened, and we could release the names. That's escalated to saying like now I don't understand the game. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand it.
No, I agree. Weird. I don't either, because we talked about the clapping, and it wasn't clapping in a bad way. It was clapping for the support as each victim. It's like they were in the circle. My name's Ross and I'm an alcoholic. And they support you. That's what that was. That's what that clapping was. So I don't understand how, if they would have done it individually, or maybe these women, because they've already had each other's phone numbers, because of the fact that they were in contact with each other during their course of being underage, call each other and say, look, I'm having a press conference. You can join me and say the same thing, or say your piece, whatever that is, or you can continue to hide. Why have they waited? And this is the critique of so many other rape victims and victims like this. Why did you wait so long to talk about it? Well, because it's embarrassing. It's humiliating. It's scary.
100%. And it is true. It's 100% true. But you've crossed the line now with that, because it's so public. and you're on the steps, and now you're saying, oh, if you don't do it, we will release the names. Then fucking release the names.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Because
don't put the carrot in front of us. What are you doing?
yeah,
How's this
Congress had their chance, and maybe this would get Congress off their ass with some other things. But Congress had their chance. Say to Congress, you've got by such and such time to get this passed, or we're going to say who in this Congress has been a part. And
of the cover. Yeah.
It's too late. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Ohio politics.
Yeah. On to Ohio. This is a new one to me, so you're going to
or crypto. Ohio crypto. You could take your choice, or we could do both.
I think we got enough time to get both of them in. What Senate race and governor race is going on there? Obviously, there's only one governor, but there's one in Florida too, because by 28, this Nazi is going to term out. And I was all happy for 1 minute because Byron Donaldson, a Florida congressman, tall black dude that is pretty far up Trump's ass, was so far the only name in the race for it. And now another guy threw his hat in the ring. And I thought, oh, cool. Somebody who's not a Trump guy. And in all actuality, this guy is both a crony for both Trump and DeSantis. So it's kind of even worse. But talk to us about Ohio.
So Ohio, we have Ohio has a couple of different things going on right now. First one, let's just talk about. First one is it's redistricting. So we have these things that are happening in Texas and California. Abbott is like, oh, we're just going to basically revamp the whole state constitutional or congressional maps and cut it down to maybe only 5 Democrats and the rest Republicans. And they're doing this so they can assure that there's a Republican majority after 26 elections. Gavin Newsom, obviously in California, is saying, well, if you're going to do that there, then we're going to use our 52, I think it is, electoral votes and change our maps to have, a majority of Democrats. But there are other states that are in play right now that are also talking about redrawing their maps. Ohio being one of them, Indiana being one of them, New Jersey being one of them. And so that's the way that they draw these maps. Excuse me?
Missouri flat out said they're going to do it.
Missouri. And so these are ways that they're gamifying the representation in Congress. So that's happening in Ohio, and that's not going to happen until the deadline is November 30th, which, yeah. The other one is we have a couple races coming up now. So congressional races are pretty much on hold right now of who's running and who's running where and against who until those maps come out. Governor race, we have Vivek Ramaswamy, who is already the nominee of the Republican and endorsed Republican, even though he did not win the primary yet. For some reason, the GOP decided to endorse before even other people got into the race. But this is how the parties are kingmakers. And then the Democrats have a lady named Dr. Amy Acton, who is now the Democrat forerunner. Again, a lot of people are endorsing her before the window has even closed to register for primary. Former Congressman and Senate candidate Tim Ryan is considering jumping in the race as well. And so we have those two races that are coming up. And then in Senate, we have an appointed senator, John Husted, who was the lieutenant governor, who is taking the place of J.D. Vance, as J.D. Vance moved out his role as senator, as vice president, as we all know. And former Senator Sherrod Brown, which J.D. Vance defeated in 2024, has come back to go against John Husted in the 26th Senate race. Yeah, I think that from my point of view of Ohio politics, it is look. I'll be very clear about all of this. Is that it shows that from both sides of the party is making more choices than the people.
Yeah.
From the GOP endorsing Vivek Ramaswamy and basically kicking everybody else out of a primary well before there is a primary or even the window closes to register. from the Democrats already, putting their names on tickets to, support Dr. Amy Acton before even Tim Ryan gets in the race or anybody else, to the parties controlling the maps. And now we see that Sherrod Brown, who is going to be, I think he's like 76 years old. Very nice guy. Look, I have nothing negative to say about the guy himself. He's been very supportive of my campaigns. And also he's donated, his PAC has donated to my campaigns. We do have disagreements on crypto policy, obviously. So he's a very nice guy, but that was also a stacked deck of who's going to run for Senate. And Sherrod stacked that deck when it came to the election of the Ohio Democratic Party chair, and basically using the Ohio Democratic Party apparatus to support another Senate run for him. So I think that we just have a huge party politics problem. And yeah, that's obvious.
Well, just in having thought about this in prep for when you suggested this is a topic for today, in past presidential elections, Ohio, like Pennsylvania and some of the other states throughout the Great Lakes, were essentially kind of sort of winner take all. You had to win those states to win the White House.
Yes.
And since then, Ohio has gone very Republican and kind of Republican only. And, Biden won the White House without Ohio.
Right.
Is that really a representation of the state of Ohio? Or is Ohio very much like another Texas, a state that's got 65% of its registered voters that are Democrat, but is being gerrymandered to keep them quiet? I mean, your legislature in Ohio, the people passed the constitutional amendment. Or was it for marijuana, I think? Mm-hmm. And the legislature just said, no, we're not going to do it. Stop us.
No, it's legal. It's legal here.
What was there was something that was passed for, I think it was a constitutional amendment. And maybe it was to not redistrict or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that one failed.
It was passed,
to not redistrict.
It was passed by the voters, and against law, the legislature that was Republican controlled just flat out said, we're not going to do it.
Yeah, I don't know of anything like that right now, though. Nothing in my recent memory. There has been finagling of it, since there is a Republican control, and different interpretations of, I think, poorly written constitutional amendments, which I think is a huge issue with these non-profit citizen-backed initiatives, where they really just by committee aren't able to really think through a piece of legislation in a proper way to make it not manipulated by the legislature, or which has happened more times than not. So you do see like the marijuana bill that was passed. It was a resolution, not a constitutional amendment, which has been being finagled by the legislature. You do see the Abortion Act that was put into Constitution that has been, interpreted by the legislature and the Supreme Court, which, and then you do see other things, but I don't know anything that was just flat out just said, we are not going to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, also down here in Texas, down here in Florida, I think it's still very Republican, but far right to the point where it's, and I know Blake's going to cringe when I say this, but it's fascist. We've got a Republican governor who has made it illegal to have the streets painted in rainbow colors in the crosswalk, and have the entire intersection painted as a mural, like is all over the state. For Pride, they weren't allowed to light up the bridges in rainbow colors. And now we can't have rainbow crosswalks. Keep in mind, all of these crosswalks were approved by his Florida Department of Transportation. They are no different than plenty of other crosswalks that are supporting thin blue line, thin red line, veterans, and so on, other special interest groups.
Mm.
But Black Lives Matter, gotta go. Pride, gotta go. Now, they're all of a sudden removing vaccine mandates from the state. And the reasoning? Because the government shouldn't be controlling our bodies. We should be. Doesn't that sound like the abortion argument that they're against?
Yeah, no, I mean, oh, so you did ask a question. I have two comments to that. The first one
Good.
is yeah, I think Ohio, is it actually red? Yes, it is actually red. I think it's actually more in the middle, but I think that the middle has been not represented. Ohio's Democratic Party has, in my opinion, failed the moderate voter, the independent voters, people who don't claim a party in the primary, because of just the nature of Ohioans. And the Democratic Party wants to play, like, again, coastal politics in a state that is very much blue collar, and it's just stupid politics, in my opinion. And so if you look at like the statewide races, the state is more so 65-35 Republican, and so I think it's pretty accurate right now of how we're representative. 10 Republican representatives to 5 Democrat. I think it's pretty spot on, to be honest with you. And that's, I think, because of a party. That's a party and messaging problem.
That's fair if it's actually representative.
I don't know how else you would say that you can use a metric to say, oh, it's not representative. When you see that the statewide elections are going the way they are. If it was 55-45 statewide or 52-48, then I'd say, oh, well, that's not. But like the governor race has been a blowout. Now, we say bad candidates or whatever, or is it just the people? But then you talk about the Secretary of State, the lieutenant governor, all these other,
Sure.
well, actually, the governor, lieutenant governor, the Supreme Court. They're not close races, right? So, like, I would say that is pretty accurate, and that's because of the Democratic Party and their issues with controlling the Democratic primary voters and their expectations, which can't be met in this political climate. For Florida, look, I know I've always been of the case. It's like my body, my choice. Like, I just don't understand anything else about that. That's where I kind of like draw the line with all of it. It's like, it is my body, my choice. I don't think that you should put up barriers to vaccinations or certain things, but again, it's kind of like, do you believe in parental autonomy and parental choice, or do you believe in my body, my choice sort of thing when it comes to personal liberties? And I think that until it gets to 18, it's up to their parents to decide what is best for them. And to be perfectly honest, I don't know if I want the state to be deciding that. And we can say that, oh, well, this is, vaccines and health, but then it's like, okay, well, then what about religion? What about different health food, Coca-Cola? Like, yes, there's bad parents with bad choices and bad education, and they have these outcomes. But I would rather not have the government trying to dictate what parents can do with their kids.
So then what about other vaccines that are already dictated?
Oh, I'm always of the case of it's a parental choice.
So you're okay with sending your kid to school without vaccines?
I'm not. No, my kid will get vaccines 100%.
Okay. But what about the student that's there who's not vaccinated, even though vaccines aren't totally 100% a guarantee? Are you okay with your
My
kid
kid's
being
vaccinated.
But that's not a total guarantee.
I looked it up before this. MMR shots, they have like a 99.9% efficacy rate. Like it's okay.
Okay. Well, my kid's going to be 21 in November, so I'm out of that game.
So I had this conversation with my buddy, and I backtracked on it. Remember during COVID, is I also believe like my body, my choice. When it came to that, it's like and like you shouldn't be forced or guilted to get a vaccine. And I think that was fucked up that they were firing people or because they didn't get a vaccine. And I was like, except for hospitals, right? Except for hospitals. And so, a lot of nurses didn't want to get the vaccine, got laid off or let go or suspended or whatever. And then because obviously we were told that you won't pass it. And I was like, well, fuck yeah, you don't want to give it to people with immunocompromised. You're going to get the vaccine, right? That you can't get it if you got the vaccine, that all these different things. And then it came out that, we were basically bullshitted, or they didn't know that you could get it still. It'd just be milder. You can pass it, whatever. But all these people lost their jobs because they didn't comply. And so it's like, that's not fair, And so like hindsight, I had to roll back. Like, yeah, it's kind of messed up that your employment would be based off of something that you're going to do with your body. You might as well just tell them to get a tattoo done or a computer chip under their skin.
Are you saying like military or like who are you okay with being fired and who should be still protected?
I don't think anybody.
But you said
I think I was talking about hospitals. I don't think that wasn't acceptable. The military, I don't know if is the same comparison, because you're literally giving your body to the United States government. But I wouldn't join the military. But that's also voluntary. If it was mandatory to join the military, then I think I would have a different choice. But if it's voluntary and you voluntarily go in there and say, oh, well, I'm going to give my body to them, or they can tell me to go die, then I mean, I don't know how much choice you really have there.
Yeah, right.
But again, that's another one where it's like, you're going to put this. How many people that came out of the military that said like they lined up and threw like fucking 50 shots at me? I had no clue what it was, but we went out our day. Like, that's messed up, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I had been vaccinated. Well, not vaccinated, but I've been tested for things that I know the general population doesn't even know exists yet. And I'm glad I was, because I know I'm good. All right. So 3 more games left. How do you see this series ending?
What, Tampa Bay?
Yeah.
Oh, no, they're both so streaky. They're both just 500. I say it goes half and half. I think that's the easiest prediction.
Yeah, I was actually kind of saying the same thing. That I was gonna I sent that to you in the message that we make a pizza bet on the series, but that's probably going to split.
Split.
And then after that, we probably go run scored, and that's probably going to split. So I'm like, this is more work than what it's worth.
Yeah.
Just for a pizza. All right, well,
all right, brother.
Sport Cat's back there. We'll bring him out and cut you loose. Am I going to see you next weekend, or are you going to be traveling again?
No, hopefully I'm not traveling for a minute, man.
All right.
I will see you next weekend.
All right, buddy. Well done. Yeah, Sport Cat's saying hello. Hey, you there?
Sport Cat?
I'm here. I can't see you, but yeah.
I'm here. My camera has shit the bed for some reason.
You broke it. You're too ugly. That's what it is.
I think, like you, I've got too much going on now. It doesn't want to go to anything.
Yeah.
But I'm off for the weekend. Let it rest.
Well, hopefully I'll be driving tomorrow. Listening to
that's right.
So
Wrapping up your time in Fort Knox.
I think I'm going to take Sunday off. I'm not sure yet. So we'll see.
Sunday off from, you have,
yeah, I'm supposed to. I think I don't know. There may be a Big Brother show. I don't know. I have to look. I'm exhausted. Mentally challenged cousin gets my dog up at 4 a.m. after I've been in bed for maybe 2 hours. And then she gets me back up at 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. And I'm ready to fucking shoot someone. So.
Yeah, I would be too.
So, at any rate, so you went and did your press credentials thing, I saw.
Yeah, that was a good experience working with Pasco County and seeing Sheriff Nacco again. He didn't recognize me, and I didn't go up to talk to him or anything. But he's a little Jesus-y, but it's Florida, so we'll forgive him.
Yeah, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah,
bigger picture of things.
Yeah, really, he's pro his guys and gals, so that's the bigger deal for me. Is that somebody
as long as he wants to keep the citizens safe, that's really all that does.
Sorry.
Oh, who's that?
I'm fat fingering shit. What do you got coming today? What are we talking about?
Well, shit. I don't know. We're going to cover last night's dinner where it was all high-tech people. There's breaking news at a baseball stadium in Washington, a large fire. And I don't know.
Washington State or Washington?
Yeah, Washington State. It's a minor league team, so.
Okay.
I don't remember the name of not the band, the team. But yeah, so I don't know. It's Friday. Thank God. I'm ready for this Friday. This Friday could not come quick enough. I'm just exhausted. So, all right.
I see something else here.
And then, did I don't know if I did or not. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Just fixing up the ticker that's going across the screen, at least one of the screens. I've got to get you guys ready for Google Meeting, but I think I need to. My free trip, my free trial is over, and I need to pay that so that we can use Google Meeting instead of Restream, because that's done on the 22nd.
Gotcha.
And, once that's done, that link that you have is going to be outdated and toast.
Okay.
So, yeah, but good discussion with Matt today. Good to have him back. And
good. I'll talk baseball
for a little bit. Yeah, at the start and the finish. Both our teams are down here in Tampa. The Guardians, who turned out to suck this year, right alongside of the Rays. They're both 500-ish. Coming into the series, Guardians were 69 and 69, and the Rays were 70 and 69. Wow. And so now the Rays won last night. They're 71 and 69, and the Guardians are 69 and 70. So yeah, they're
no idea what my Braves and Orioles are. Probably sucks and sucks more.
Yeah, that's it.
Both
the Guardians and the Rays. I didn't know this. He said both the Guardians or Rays are 2 and 3 games out of a wild card spot.
Really?
And that's useless, because even if they come back and get one of those spots, wild cards pretty much don't belong in the playoffs. And they're just for the, I guess it would be the 5th place team to have somebody to play. And
maybe it's just extra revenue. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all this shit's turning into. Tonight's Well, last night was opening night for NFL, and tonight the only way you can watch the game, unless you're home, as far as the home team, I mean, which is Kansas and Miami. I don't remember, but no, the Jet. No, I don't know. Whomever it is, unless you're in their market, you have to pay YouTube to watch it, and I just think that's bullshit.
When you say pay YouTube to watch it, you
have to have YouTube TV.
Okay, so my parents have that. They wouldn't have to pay extra. They would just pay.
Yeah, it's whatever. You have to subscribe to. Yeah. So I think that's bull crap. But
I've never talked about this with anybody yet.
Oh.
But what are your? Here you go. I'm going to come out. What are your opinions about Major League Sports being on so many different networks and maybe not having access to that network to see a team that you want to play, or to see a team that's playing that you want to see?
Well, if you live in a hometown, like I live in Baltimore, and I get the what the hell are they? The Ravens. And in DC, I get the Commanders. Atlanta, I get the Falcons. But if you're in Des Moines, Iowa, you don't have a home market. And if they move everything to pay-per-view, or, you got to pay for another network to watch it, I just don't think that's right. I think that fans should be able to watch the game. I mean, I don't think everything should be absolutely free, but at the same, when I say free, that you got to pay for Peacock or Paramount or ESPN, whatever. I think there should be like maybe Thursday night games or a Friday night game, and that's only on Amazon. But if you're not in a home market, your town has physically got a home team, that sucks, because you'll have to have ESPN, Paramount, Peacock, YouTube, and Amazon. I think I'm missing one, just to watch games this season, because they're all spread out over 5 different ones. If you're going to do that, take the NFL network and towns that don't have a home team, let them see a game or 2 every week, like we used to. You used to get 2 on NFL Fox and 1 on CBS, and then the next week it would be the opposite. But they're going away from that to try and make more revenue, which I think is wrong to the fan. I think you're doing the fan a disservice.
So, and my question about the additional revenue, at the end of the day, how much actual revenue are they making versus the cost of fans no longer being at the ballpark and no longer seeing the games at all? Because, like you said, they don't have that network.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's costing, other influence, such as not supporting advertisers that they could have seen, or not supporting Major League Baseball the way they could have by going out and buying their team's hat, to finish the season, or all the things that network TV brings to a major league economy. Do you think it's being watered down?
Well, I think that's going to also
when I ask do you think it's being watered down by having to pay for all these different networks, and people are saying, no, I'm not going to do it. That's what I mean by watering it down. If all these networks were free access, problem solved.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when they first did this many years ago, and they had moved Monday night, which had always been ABC. They moved it to ESPN, and unless you had ESPN or lived in a home market, you didn't see the game. And I just think that it takes away from the fan base, because they're going to be like, well, screw it, to a lot of teams, you can't get tickets. Unless your team sucks. but you can't get tickets to go see the game. So you had disgruntled fans like, screw it, I ain't gonna buy shit. They're not gonna let me see this game, you know. And
right,
I get. I mean, they have to pay the athletes, but the problem is, it gets to a point where you have millionaires fighting millionaires over hundreds of dollars from fans, and that's where I draw the line. I mean, you just can't. You know, there should be something for free. I mean, hell, unless you've got an outdoor antenna anymore and a brand new TV, you can't even get regular TV. So,
yeah.
Yeah,
we were talking about that too. Is that there should be some level of qualification to even own a major league team.
Agreed.
And because, like down here in Tampa, the owners of the Rays don't want to do shit, and they want the city, and they want the state, and they want Major League Baseball to essentially pay for everything.
Yep.
Where the owners of the Bolts, the Tampa Bay Lightning, they make money, they spend it on the city.
And it's hockey.
The area around Amalie Arena, which is now just this year changed to something else. The area around the arena downtown is beautiful because of the owners of the Tampa Bay Lightning. They've put so much back in to the city. I think they're also the ones paying for a shuttle that crosses the bay so that St. Pete residents can more readily attend games.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
Because the highway is a narrow bridge and it gets congested really quick, especially at the tail end of PM rush hour for a 7:05 puck drop.
I bet, yeah.
You know, it's already crowded. Now put a couple thousand more people, easily 10,000 more people trying to cross over to get, you know, to the hockey game.
Yeah.
So you know, the ferry, you know, was a good option. I think the Rays talked about it, but I don't know that it ever really came to fruition, especially with them not being there this year. They're at the Yankees minor league ballpark at Steinbrenner Field because of the damage done by Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton. Actually, in that case, it was Milton that literally ripped the roof off the building and so much other damage. Yeah,
it used to be such a beautiful stadium.
Tropicana?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think when it was newer, probably. I was there with my son a couple years ago. And even with the dome, it just felt like one of the old concrete Veteran Stadium, RFK, Three Rivers, you know, the old cookie cutter cement factory things.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't feel like the fan-friendly ballpark. And we sat like 8 rows from first base. And it just, you know, I looked forward to going to the Phillies farm team in Clearwater to see the Thrashers play, because that's a fan-friendly ballpark. And that's what Matt's point was seeing the Rays play at Steinbrenner would have been much more of an appealing experience, even though it's temporary and there's not as many people as what they could get. But right now at 500, they're not getting anybody anyway.
Yeah. Well, do you think any of what you were feeling was because it was an indoor stadium?
That was, you know, it's funny you say that. I don't know, because that was the first time I've been to an indoor stadium.
Okay.
Other than obviously an arena, which they all are like that. That was the first time I've seen baseball indoors. So I don't know. I got no other indoor stadium to compare it to. And frankly, I think they're all the big cookie cutters as well. Now, I don't know an indoor stadium. Is there an indoor stadium that's fan friendly?
I don't know the answer to that. That's the only indoor stadium I've ever been to, was that one.
Tropicana?
Yeah. And I was there when they had the huge fish tank in the back and an outfield. And then was it around home plate or somewhere else? They had another big tank. It was visible from the cameras, but not the seats. And you could go down and see it, obviously. But not during game time. And it was beautiful then. We saw what did we see? We saw the Orioles, and I think we stuck around and the Braves came to town. Well, I think we took in 2 games. And it was great. They were doing things with the kids because they had like Pet the Ray or something like that. So the kids had something to do, and they were engaging with the fans. It felt more intimate as opposed to like me growing up when we used to go over to Baltimore. It was a cold outside stadium. Now the old Brave Stadium was amazing. I haven't been to the new one because it's
Turner Field or which one?
Yeah, Turner Field. Yeah, not what was it, Fulton Stadium before that. So no, and I haven't been to is it still SunTrust Park or Truist Park, whatever the hell it is. I haven't been to it because it's it was good for the economy up there, but as far as placement on an interstate, absolutely horrible.
Oh yeah, which one's that?
The new Braves stadium. Well, I think Truist Park, and
that's what I didn't understand about Camden Yards and the Ravens Stadium. It's not by the highway; it's at the end of the highway. Whatever the highway is, when you get on it from DC, you just go north towards Baltimore and don't stop, because it literally stops at Camden Yards.
Yeah.
And it's the end of the highway, just one big exit. And you sit there for like an hour. And I'm like, who thought about this? What kind of study was done to make this happen?
I don't think back in the day when they built those original stadiums, they thought about stuff like that. Because look at RFK.
Now, yeah, RFK. But RFK is by a bunch of highways, and it's also got some good public transit to it.
Oh, absolutely, with public transit, yes.
And I've always liked DC's public transit. DC and San Francisco.
They're expanding it out so dang far now. It goes out past my old home. The rail, yeah, the metro.
Oh yeah,
It's they're building. They're actually building a stop almost in my old neighborhood. They're tunneling to it right now. It's going to be complete like 2035 or something. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So,
well, they added, what is it, the Silver Line that goes to the airport?
What, to Dulles?
Yeah,
I think so. It's been
that's
so
the
long.
one that, whatever the highway there is, at if it's 66 or whichever, it's in the median.
Yep, and that's what they're doing with the new Route 1. Yep.
I don't know why they don't do that with more highways around the country. You're not using that space for anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Put a train there.
Yep, they're going over to Crystal City. No, they're going to Huntington Station, Bellevue Station, whatever it is down there, just in the edge of Fairfax and Alexandria. Then they're gonna tunnel and come up just at the top of basically the next ridge, if you look at it that way on topography map, and come up the middle of Route 1, and I think they're going to take it to Prince William County. Or no, it's going to end in Lorton at the Amtrak, where the new high-speed rail is going to be. So, Yeah, that's way past my house in Mount Vernon. And that is just wrong.
Yeah.
We had a bus stop.
Right. If you want to get things off the highway, you got to put it somewhere else.
Oh yeah, agreed. So, all right, man.
All right, well, you ready to take over?
Yeah. Tell me when to push a button. I'm lethargic again today. Damn it.
Sportcats up next with Sportcats Daily Gazette. I'm out of here for the weekend. I will see you again on Monday for Up the Middle and Both Sides Now. Thanks for getting off the porch and run with the big dogs. I'm Jurgs. Have a good weekend.
Yeah. Now it's time to run with the cats.
Yep. Go ahead and take it.
The kittens are free. Daddy is in charge of the radio, so we got this now. So we are going to go start our show. So I need to come up with a better meow when you're talking, saying you're going to run with the big dogs. I'm playing a.
You need to get the Penn State Lion, the Nittany Lion, that they do with the system there.
I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. Well, I can't on right now, but I always got.
I wish I had the time to think of this shit.
No kidding.
I'm just still trying to get. I'm just still trying to get content for the other 5 stations.
Well, I'm sending you another YouTuber, and I also found. I think I sent it to you. A military talk show, and there's a brand new military
intelligence analyst.
I think so. Yeah,
I was a Trumper. I mean, I'll have both. I don't care.
You want both? Yeah. You said at least. Now the girl, oh God, what the hell's her name? Lisa. She's my co-host on the Big Brother show. You and her would. I mean, you'd suck Biden's asshole, so you and her would get along great. So. So yeah. She tries to get into it with me on a Big Brother show, and I'm like, okay, crime's down. What's your next point? Well, he shouldn't be doing it. Crime's down. What's your next point? In other words, just shut up.
Right.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about Big Brother.
He's talking about going into Chicago because crime's so bad. Well, if crime's so bad, get into Chicago. Get going.
I hope he does. Because I heard him say today, well, he's just trying to embarrass Democrats. And I thought about that statement, and I thought, if he's trying to embarrass them by saving one life, is he embarrassing them or are they embarrassing themselves? I mean, and that was the thing they were going on about. They were like, oh, he's trying to embarrass us.
But that's the issue right there. Is that crime fighting has absolutely zero to do with his military being anywhere.
I agree. You will not get an argument. But then do something. Stop letting the fucking criminals run the circus. Do your job.
It's not even about that. My point about that is there's going to be crime. It's a city. That's what cities have. And yes, crime is down. Yes, there are still certain things happening, but if he's sending people into DC and he's got these checkpoints downtown, that's not where the crime is. I'm getting messages from one of my super fans every day on the alerts that he gets from MPD. There's still all kinds of shootings. There's still all kinds of carjackings, and they're not by the White House. They're in the hood.
No, and they're not all there. They're in other places. I watch a guy that shows them regularly. And to check your point, they're not National Guard checkpoints. They're all predetermined Metropolitan Police. They determine them, not them. That's the protocol.
Yeah. There's some of the ones I'm seeing. No.
Well, no, I'm not saying that other bureaus and the National Guard's not there. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that Metropolitan Court.
What I'm saying is I'm not even seeing MPD at some of these where they're coming up on veterans who are protesting legally and taking them down from behind. Yeah, MPD.
I haven't seen that.
I'll send it to you.
I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong, because I think you can get over aggressive on either side. But my point is, if you want to be an elected official, you should represent the people and want your people safe. And when you have 8 people murdered in one weekend, and that's a regular thing with 54 people shot, you've got a problem. And then they say, well, it's not having more police. Okay, well, not having enough police is showing to be part of the problem. So rip the Band-Aid off and fix it. And then once you arrest the bad guy, keep them there. Slap on the wrist, you'll get out. You can go murder somebody else. We'll get you Wednesday. No, fuck that. Put them in jail. That's what we're supposed to do. And like that lady said, she's just trying to. She was a senator for Illinois. He's just trying to embarrass Democrats by coming here and reducing the murder rate. What? What the fuck did you just say? He's trying to embarrass you by stopping murders. Makes no sense. That just is a stupid statement.
Well, that, like I said, that was poorly worded. I think, they're trying to say that they're not doing anything to fight crime, which also isn't true.
No, it's not true.
A lot of what they were doing was defunded by Trump.
Not all of it. They want to defund the police in some of these cities. So you're gonna love my opening story. Then you're gonna be throwing your phone, radio, electronic device, whatever it is, with my opening story.
No, not necessarily. I think that's an ignorant statement when people on the left say to defund the police. I take the CIA, FBI road, 9/11 road. After 9/11, Congress took the directors of the CIA and the FBI and bitched them out for letting this happen. Mm-hmm. And they turned it right around and said, this isn't our fault, it's yours.
That's correct. It wasn't.
If we were better funded, we would be able to do this, this, and this, and we would have prevented it. And Congress said, that's a good point. So they threw all kinds of money at both. And a little known fact is during the Bush administration alone, the U.S. intelligence community stopped more than 100 9/11 level attacks that our country doesn't even know about because they were properly funded. Now, do that with the police. Get them properly funded, get them properly trained. And
you will not get an argument. Agreed. But and then you have the politicians that take the money and line their pockets. That's another whole argument.
That's what too is that we've got a gut Congress. You want Doge to do something intelligent? Get rid of Congress.
Didn't you just say drain the swamp in another way? Isn't that what you just said?
He's been the swamp.
How are you the swamp when you're an outsider coming in? You can't be the swamp.
He is the deep state.
No, I'm not saying he's not, but he's not the bad side.
Deep state. It was the Trump administration.
I think that started with Reagan, to be honest, but that's another. All right, we could go on for hours. We agree to disagree on a lot of things, but it is what it is.
Round two.
Yeah, I gotta go. My chat's yelling at me. Holy cow! Let me get out of here.
Let them yell. What's that one senator say? They'll get over it.
Yeah. Well, I just don't like to run over on Australia. I feel like they've got their programming and I'm screwing with it when I run over. So I try not to.
But isn't it us right after you?
I don't know.
I think it's just what follows you is another one of our shows. It's basically right now it's a replay of one of my shows, but we're putting the news together for in our time zone, the 3 to 4 hour, and then 4 o'clock, they've got things that come on and they pretty much take over.
Okay. All right. Well, then I won't feel so bad because I was like feeling really bad. I was like, I got to get out of here.
It's right now it's replays of Up the Middle, but I'm trying to get Mastiff Media magazine back together. and back, putting something decent out.
Yeah. Well, I got some people headed your way, so
good.
Yeah, let's talk. I don't know the one guy. I saw his site and I sent it to you. I don't know him. The girl I do know. So, but yeah. So, all right. Well, let me get out of here. I got. All right, brother. Have a great weekend.
Have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you over the weekend.
All right, man. Call me. I'll be on the road for several hours. So.
All right. Yeah. Tomorrow morning.
Right? Probably closer to like 11-ish. So.
Okay. Yeah. By then, our normal morning meeting will be over by then. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I got to pack and load the dog, and it's gonna rain. It's gonna be fun. So, all right, man. I'll catch you later.
Talk to you.
All right. Bye. All right.
Sportcat up next for those of the networks that I still got here. That's it. I'm out of here. I'll see you Monday. Thanks for joining.